Thank you guys so much for sending questions in. We have time for a couple of them, but I've got one right now that's already here. Thank you, Randy, for closing out the series, man. Good job, dude.
Thank you. It's fun.
It was awesome. It was a fun morning. I love I just told you, I love the fact that this was your first time doing 2 services.
Yeah, back to
you know,
back.
when we used to do 3, I used to forget what I said. In one service or another. I think somebody told me that 3 is like the barrier for most people to 2 in a row. And so here's a question that came in. I want to make sure Randy has an opportunity to share it. I can't remember the slide specifically, but this is the section of the message they were talking about, which is the true motivation, true results and true motivation.
Yeah.
Because, and I think in the second service you may have talked about it a little bit more than the first service, that there really is this, like, somebody can be doing the exact same thing in terms of physical behavior, and yet one person is working at a place from freedom, and the other person is really doing it from a standpoint of works and a place to achieve something. And that is a disconnect, right?
Yeah.
How do you help someone who's not only processing that themselves, they're like, I'm worried about me. Am I doing it in the right position?
Right.
But as they also consider, the greater body. So kind of speak into that a little bit more.
Well, I think a lot of it is because whether we're honest with ourselves, we know ourselves. We know,
right.
We know what the ultimate outcome is for the things that we do, or at least what we want to do. And the thing that always comes to my mind is if we are doing something just to get the praise of other people.
Right.
If we're doing something so that somebody comes and pats us on the back and says, good job, that was great, you're my hero. If that happens as a result of what we're doing, that's okay, but that can't be the goal. The goal is going to be, is what I'm doing because the Holy Spirit's leading me to do it, and am I allowing the Holy Spirit to accomplish through me the things that He wants to accomplish? And I think when we understand that about ourselves, then we can understand the difference between our true motivation or what people might perceive is our motivation.
Gotcha. Okay. So I would say for us, the one thing I was thinking through was not just other people, but even with God, stewardship's a big one there. Like that's one where, some people can be giving, and they're giving out of this grateful obedience and heart that they are free, and they're giving the resources, and then as God blesses them, it's just a continued motivation of like, thank you so much for blessing me, God. I'm going to continue to be generous. And yet there's oftentimes even some theologies that kind of have this kind of tit for tat thing that they're giving with an expectation of God to bless, which leaves them
what are you doing?
Which leaves them in a position of waiting expectantly for God to do something, and then getting maybe frustrated when they don't see the end result they want.
Right.
So it could be the same thing. It's a $100 check from either, from both people.
Right.
One is completely operating, and that's an issue with God. Nobody might even see that. Like it might not be a thing about like praise from other people. That's just something where you've kind of set yourself up with an expectation on God that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, and even in that, using the $100 check for an example, if the one person gives the $100 check with proper motivation, the other person does not, the end result of what that $100 check does, that's not affected.
Right.
People can still be blessed through that,
Sure.
but the person that did it for the wrong reason
is not getting what they should be getting, right? Because
Yeah.
they did that. All right, well, that's good. I didn't see any other questions came in. I looked at the thing real quick. But thanks, guys, for sending those in. Thank you, Randy, for continuing to just be a part of the church, man.
Love it, man.
We loved having you share today. So hopefully tune in to Q&A next week, and we'll start the new series, The Next Generation. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.